print them off. I guess we're due for, me and Julie, we're due for new ones. Hers will do is
This is the February 11th, 2025 meeting of the Woodstock Community Unit School District 200 Board of Education. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag in the back of the room or the flag behind us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Dr. Bidwell? Here. Dr. Ferris?
Present.
Mr. Gilmore?
Here.
Mr. Headley?
Here.
Mr. Homu?
Present.
Mr. Maselli?
Here.
Mr. Parisi?
Here. Okay, first item of business tonight is our consent agenda. The consent agenda is, you got a chance to take a look at it. There's also an addendum. Take a please look at it, please, and let me know if any board member would like to have any items from the consent agenda pulled. There are no items to be pulled. I entertain a motion. Please remember to include the addendum as part of your motion.
Move to waive the reading of and approve the consent agenda as printed in the board agenda, including the February 11, 2025 personnel addendum.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Parisi, seconded by Dr. Bidwell. Roll call, please.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Dr. Bidwell? Yes. Mr. Homu?
Yes.
Mr. Headley?
Yes.
Mr. Maselli?
Yes.
Dr. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore?
Yes. Next item on our agenda then is our recognition.
All right, this evening we have some students and staff power. We're going to honor Max Haggerty for his qualification for the HSA Boys Bowling State Tournament. Max actually had 2 300 games this year, which is amazing. Went down to the state tournament. After day 1, he was in 51st and fought his way back to 15th overall, which is a great finish. So I want to congratulate Max on our bowling season. Coach Lee's here to welcome him as well. And then we have our staff spotlight from Wilson tonight. So we ask the board to approve that recognition.
Okay, this is just motion on page 38 of our materials.
Move to introduce the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Education of Woodstock Community Unit School District 200 wishes to recognize the contributions of these individuals, and whereas District 200 has benefited as a result of these accomplishments, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Education of Woodstock Community Unit School District 200 hereby bestows special recognition and a certificate of achievement on behalf of the citizens of the district.
Motion by Mr. Parisi, do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Homewood. Roll call, please.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Homewood?
Yes.
Mr. Headley?
Yes.
Mr. Maselli?
Yes.
Dr. Ferris?
Yes.
Dr. Bidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore?
Yes.
All the names come on up. Max Haggerty, 15th place in we don't carry rocks. That's right. We're good. Right in the middle of the reading, Great job, Max. Now, I'd like to hold the fairies for a second.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to honor two of our special staff members, and I have some helpers here to also honor our two members. So we have Mrs. Dunbar, who's one of our fifth grade teachers we would like to recognize tonight, as well as Mrs. Kristen Costa, who's one of our amazing Target associates. So I want to start with Mrs. Dark, and she leads by example. She's just an amazing staff member who is so flexible. She goes above and beyond for all of our students. She helps run our after school club as well as a leader among all of our teachers, and we're just so proud to have her. So I would like Ms. Victoria Anderson to come up and speak for a minute.
There are many reasons why I think Miss York is an amazing teacher, but some of the main reasons are that she always helps us if we need it and always makes sure we know what we're doing before we start. For example, a lot of people were really confused on one of our assignments, so she took time out of her day so she could help us. It's also amazing that she always puts us first before her. These reasons are important, and that's why I think Miss York is a great teacher.
Thanks, Victoria. We'd also like to have Ms. Jordan Sack also come in and share some thoughts about Ms. York.
Bob Henry said a good teacher can inspire hope, ignite their imagination, and instill a love of learning. Mrs. York has fueled my love of learning and inspires me and has made fifth grade enjoyable. She is spectacular at math and teaches it to the class in a way that makes it easy to understand. Last month I was sick and missed a week of school. Mrs. York went out of her way to help me catch up all of the work that I had missed. She worked with me to understand the math we were doing at the time. This meant a lot to me because if she had not helped me, I would have been lost. She is very helpful during writing, especially when students are struggling. Writing is my favorite subject. Mrs. York has helped me grow as a writer by pushing me and expanding my vocabulary. Mrs. York has created a welcoming environment and encourages us to try our best even when something is difficult. She has added a lot of different seats in her classroom and gives us options to be more comfortable in our learning environment. These are just some of the reasons why I think that Mrs. York is an amazing teacher. Mrs. York, I am very thankful for everything you do for your students, and I'm happy to have you as my teacher this year.
We do it together. Sorry.
So for Mrs. Costa, she is so positive, she's so reliable, she is so flexible. She goes to both our target classroom as well as supports all of our students in a lot of different classrooms. And so we're just so proud to have her be part of Olsen. And so Aubrey is here to share a couple thoughts about Mrs. K.
Mrs. K goes above and beyond to help all of us. Within our classroom, she supports all of us. When we go to other You go to all the classrooms too. Mrs. K always has a positive attitude. She is always kind and respectful to everyone. She is willing to do anything to help Miss Webster and all of us. We love having Miss K in our classroom and at Olson.
We're going to honor Deb York. Come on up, Deb. And Kristen Costa. Maybe girls. Thank you so much.
We're about to move into the rest of our meeting, which is our business meeting. For those of you who are here primarily for the recognition, this is a good time for you to kind of take off if you don't want to take the rest of the meeting. You're welcome to stay if you'd like. If you don't meeting, you're welcome to hear what's going on. But, and we thank you for coming. But if you'd like to leave, now's a good time to take off. We'll start again in just a minute or two.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on now. Next item on our agenda is our communication section. Communications are a time for community members and district employees to express a point of view, not to debate an issue. There's a sign-up sheet for the public to identify their name, address, phone number, name of organization represented, if any, and a brief description of the topic to be addressed. Comments are generally limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 2:230 and are otherwise covered by Board Policy 2:230. Has anyone signed up on the sign-up sheet?
No.
All right. Nobody signed up on the sign-up sheet. Is there any member of the public who wishes to address the board at this time? Okay. Having no members of the public wishing to address the board, we'll move on to staff comments. Are there any staff comments? Board comments. Don't forget to pay Jerry $35.
I'm not like a fun way of raising money, right? Dr. Bones, he sold a ton of 50-50 raffles. He shake the crowd pretty well. I don't know exactly how much we made, but we'll say $5 check.
Richard George for that, Jerry. Okay, there are no other board comments. We'll move to the superintendent's report.
All right, piggybacking off of Jerry, I want to thank the District 200 Education Foundation. Very successful online raffle last week. A number of great items, including a very generous donation from the board. Appreciate your support. Appreciate Jerry's support on the foundation board and at the event that Sunday. I appreciate the foundation for all they're doing and all the families that support them. All the money donated goes back to our students, which is a great opportunity for us to be supportive of our community. So I want to thank everyone that's part of that. Just a reminder, we have parent-teacher conferences this week on Thursday afternoon and Friday. Half-day school Thursday, middle school Friday for conferences, middle school Monday for President's Day. Return to school on Tuesday. Parents have not already had conferences scheduled. Can reach out to their buildings for availability. Then finally, Carol asked I update the board on federal funding and just the shape that it's in currently, where it's coming from, and overall. So to date, we have about $1.9 million coming in this year from federal funding. A vast majority of that salary reimbursement, which comes in as we file for it. So, Title I, which is our low-income funding, about $800,000. We have school improvement for about $300,000. IDA is our special ed funding, so we've got two different areas there, almost $800,000. A little bit in Perkins, a little bit in Title III. We've missed no payments for many of those. funds, Title I, RIDA, Perkins of Title III. So we're still on track on all those and still about $2 million to collect this year. There are obviously federal grants that have been pulled back, but they were competitive grants. We didn't spend the money at all, so we haven't lost anything on all money that's expected to come in has come in. We haven't lost anything. There's been opportunities that were floated out there that better rescinded, but none of the money we've been allocated has failed to come in yet. I'll keep you updated.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, in the event that it would happen that the money would not be made available coming in the future at all, what is our position in terms of being able to operate? I mean, would it cause a substantial problem for meeting our monthly bills, or would it be?
No, I mean, for $2 million, we have fund reserve. You know, we didn't build the solar field to the point we thought. The electric bus money has gone away, but we couldn't find it by anyway. So we still got that money. That was a tough situation. So we're still sitting on enough money to cover this year. And then obviously, going forward, we have to budget for it. I mean, we'll know a lot more in September and August when you have to approve a budget for the next year. That'd be a real concern if anything happened there. We want to absolutely bring you different options then. But for this year, worst case scenario, we still be okay getting through this year. But I mean, obviously, long term would have a significant impact on us.
Does anybody have any other questions regarding that issue?
Is that right, Julie? Just, I mean,
No, you're right, you're absolutely right. We talked about it earlier. Yes, what you conveyed is correct.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Work from there. Appreciate you doing that though, because it's coming out. It seems to be coming, very prominent news, and just wondering what would happen to us if we were to start losing it. So we'll find out, I guess, maybe. All right, that's it for our superintendent's report. Then we'll move on to our monitor's report.
Lisa's going to update us on our relationship with our parent organization, which we started this year.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Pearson. I'm Director of Special Services for the district. I also have a couple of my coordinators here, Julie Jeanette, Christopher. So part of our strategic plan for this school year, based on some requests we had from parents last year, was to start some family and community engagement in the area of special services. So this is our goal. We're looking at hosting 4 events with parents and families this year. We had our first one on November 14th, and we had a number of different groups that came to speak to the program. I'm not going to go through all of these, but the first one that we had was Special Olympics, and I think that was actually a big one. We were able to sign up a few additional students for Special Olympics. Our events this year are rhythmic gymnastics, powerlifting, swimming, track and field, and bowling. So those are all coming in the future. We had Service Inc. A lot of these different branches that came to speak to our parents do some similar things. But Service Inc. works on funds, which provides funding for adult services for students. So they get involved in our district when the student is about 20, 21 years of age. And then we make the transition to helping those students get services after they graduate from our district. Clearbrook King talked a lot about the residential and day programs that are available. Same thing with Pioneer Center. Pioneer also has some behavioral health resources. They, of course, oversee PADS. And then finally, Options and Advocacy, which we have a very collaborative relationship for their advocacy. People to come in and help us out with staffing, working with families, and getting services for students. A big Work to 3 program. They started an autism research branch this past year, which has been successful. We've had some partnering with it. So we had probably about 25 parents or so that came to the group. Our next one was supposed to be during the ice storm last week, but we rescheduled for the 27th. So Companions on Your Journey is who's going to come speak to our families. Basically talking about planning for people with disabilities in funding opportunities such as Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. And what happens, as many of you may know, when a person with a disability gets a job, they can only work so many hours so their Social Security can be cut. So trying to navigate that system and help parents, both as a group and individually afterward, to talk about those things going personal. Our really exciting presenter coming March 6th, which is SIP Day, is Finding Cooper's Voice, which is Kate Swenson. I had the opportunity to speak with her a couple of times, and I believe you guys get a copy of the PowerPoint that's linked to her web address. She's a parent of a 12-year-old now who has severe autism, and she talks a lot about collaborating with schools, and even though she knows that her son is difficult, having compassion and partnering with families and schools for the betterment of the child and her fears. And she's just very realistic and down to earth. Not, you can watch some videos of people who either are underwhelmed or overwhelmed. She's kind of right in the middle and really speaks to the heart of both parents and educators. So that afternoon during the SIP time, she's going to speak to our elementary buildings and many of our special education staff. And then she's going to come back that evening for a parent session. She also has written at least one book that I'm aware of. I don't know if she's doing an autograph signing, but that's a big theme of her. She's a big draw. In April, we're looking to have just an overview of some summer services available, including an overview of our extended school year services, which is our summer school program, House at Prairie Wood and Creekside, and then MISRA. They don't know that yet because I haven't contacted them directly, but they're always very happy to come in and share information with our parents. I know there's also, I believe it's called Challenge with our Little League, who I will be getting in contact with and see if they can come also, because they have a section that they have students with disabilities pair with their Little Leaguers to have a few games of their own. Any questions or comments?
Anybody have questions or comments? So this, as I recall, this is something that came up about a year ago. A parent came to our meeting and suggested that we do more, and
yes,
this is our response to that.
Yeah.
So
She's been partnering with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's terrific that happened, that somebody came and talked to us, and we were able to do something to meet a need. I think what you're doing is great, and it's nice that we're filling a void that we might not have been doing before. Or at least fulfilling more than we were doing before. So I think it's terrific, and I think the plan looks great, and I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we do plan on
We can do it.
doing it even after this year.
Very good, thank you. Thanks for all your hard work, and everybody else who was involved in it. So. Any other questions or comments? All right, thanks again. Okay, we have no unfinished business, so we'll move on to our new business. That involves approval of the Creekside Middle School Prairie Woods Elementary parking lot resurfacing.
Tonight we're bringing before you a proposal to resurface the parking lot at Creekside Prairie Wood. It's been in need of repair for quite some time. What we did is we went out to bid. We put together specifications with the assistance of Wold Architects. We put out a bid back in January. We received 8 proposals. And of those 8, we narrowed it down to 2. And we vetted both of those respondents and found that the second highest bidder, Schroeder Asphalt, was the more responsible bidder just because of the fact that they have had experience, and based on their references, they've had experience with a project that's got the scope and size of what we've got going on. They've also worked with school districts, and they're also familiar with the type of deadlines that we have to meet. The lower price bidder was newer in the arena, and they didn't have the type of references we were looking for. Although the references were good, they hadn't had any experience with what we were looking for. So to be responsible and make sure that we've got a parking lot done on time and the quality that we're looking for, we are recommending the second highest bidder, Schroeder Asphalt.
Isn't Schroeder also doing the track?
Schroeder is also the one that was awarded the track. They were the lowest bidder for the track. They're a local company. Their references were Huntley. Obsidian is as I mentioned, they're a newer company, they're smaller, and they just didn't have the references that would support a job of this size.
So we don't have to take the lowest bid?
No, we don't, and actually we talked with our attorneys to make sure that this was appropriate because we were concerned about it as well. After we vetted both of them, we sat down and talked with our attorney from Hodges and explained to them what our concerns were, and he said as long as you are choosing the lowest responsible bidder, and you've got, facts that support that, meaning the references that support that, and your reasoning being that you feel that the references support a project of this scope and size, as well as the experience of working with the school district, you are able to select not the absolute lowest dollar bidder, but the lowest responsible bidder.
I think our experience in North last year really has us thinking twice about everything that work's still not done. Obviously, it's going to be middle of summer before we lose the kind of from that court. So I think we really asked Wool to go deep on this and really look and see, have they done this work? Have they done this work for schools? Can we talk to somebody? Because if not, then I'm afraid we're in the same boat again. But this time, tennis court's bad. Parking lot, we can't open with. So they do put a lot of time in with Wool to get down. And they really feel like the shorter bid responsible, and it's still a fair price. It looks like compared to the other bids.
Right. Any questions? Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm not clear on what this includes, and what I'm asking really is, the entry and exit way out of Prairiewood Creekside is impossible to navigate during busy times. And I was wondering if there was anything that was done with respect to this bid that seeks to, it seems to me that the time of redoing the parking lot would be a time to remedy that situation. I was wondering if that was considered at all in terms of the bid, if that's part of this bid, because it really doesn't explain what we're doing other than the two things that are the alternates. It doesn't explain other than removal and replacement of the parking lot. So, I don't know if that's part of the alternate.
What are you looking for specifically?
Well, I don't know if there was any thought saying to widen that opening so that people can get in and out. I mean, when it's busy out there, when you've got people going to Prairiewood and you've got people going to Creekside at the same time, you get cars that are backed out all the way up the street, all the way onto the road, all the way on Hercules Road to get to those two entries. And it's primarily because I think, and I'm not a traffic expert, but it's reduced to 2 lanes. One of them has a stop sign as you exit, so that there's no way to get in and out. And people are backed up. Kids are running in and out of cars. They're stopping in the middle of halfway out the door out of the property in order to get in the cars. People are pulling out to get out of places. It just seems to me to be a really unsafe entrance and egress. And I was wondering if there was if any of this is considered that and is attempting to remedy that problem.
No, we does the current parking lot. We can look at, two things we can do. We can work with a traffic engineer to look at a better structure potentially, or if you want, we can reject this and go look at it. Widening the entry. I didn't know that was something we wanted to do. We can rebid it if you'd like.
I mean, I'm hesitant to approve it only because, particularly if there's any consideration being given to fixing that problem, because we're going to fix it, then to fix it, we'd have to tear it all up and start again on that entry. It's not the whole parking lot, but it's a significant portion of it, of the problem. And I couldn't tell from this whether or not they had considered that as part of one of the alternative, or whether it was done. I think that something needs to be done out there. It's after school hours, early morning hours, when some kids are trying to go to Prairiewood, other kids are trying to get to Creekside to get in there on time. I mean, it's messy over there, and there are people running all over the place, and I think it's problematic. But that's my view.
We can look at it in the future, however, and not have. I don't think it's an all-or-nothing thing. I think the parking lot was done well, and then deal with the issue that you're talking about later without.
We could look at a traffic engineer and find out a different pattern in the current parking lot.
I think this still is a smart move, personally, but I see your concern, Carl, and I think that's something to look at. I think possibly that can be done later and added on, or as an add-on later to some kind of revision. I don't think it has to be all or nothing. I think the engineer needs to
tell staff that they're in the drop shape, they need to do something. And I think this makes sense at this time to do so.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern about that is that we do all the repairs and then end up tearing everything up and starting all over again, or at least a portion of it.
Well, yeah, how much is the question? That's what the engineer is. And I'm with you on that too.
Yeah. Well, that was just my question. Anybody have any other comments or questions regarding the bid? All right, if not, there's a suggested motion on page 40.
Move to award a contract for resurfacing the Creekside Middle School, Prairie Wood Elementary School parking lot in summer 2025 for a total bid price of $911,700 to Schrader Asphalt Services Incorporated.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Parisi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Headley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Headley?
Yes.
Dr. Ferris?
Yes.
Dr. Bidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Maselli?
Yes.
Mr. Homewood?
Yes.
Mr. Gilmore?
No. Okay, so we'll be restructured. All right.
We can reach out to the traffic engineer though, I mean, they can help us out.
I strongly suggest that we have somebody take a look at it.
We can do that for sure. We can do that, fill up our patterns and, you know, the way we move traffic through, but we can absolutely do that.
I was just thinking maybe there's an opportunity, I'm looking at the area to utilize the bus turnaround where it's not used for buses.
Well, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
When I had to pick my kids up, I'd say go out the other side because that did work. And perhaps it was all safe, but when you have kids coming in and out, you got buses leaving and all that stuff, you don't really want all those people intermingling necessarily. So it's fine, but I'm sure they'll follow.
We'll talk to a traffic engineer on this and then come back to this report on options, for sure.
Okay. That's all for our business. So our next item on our agenda is committee reports. Have any committees met or do any committees have anything to report since our last meeting?
Last week, the Diversity Committee met, and we got a very good report from Keeley about the Illinois Equity Journey Continuum portion of the Illinois State Report Card. We had some parents and 3 students who attended who shared some really good ideas for things we could do to improve our service to some of our students and some of our families.
Great. Glad they're doing that. Glad to hear that we're doing well in that area. Any other committees? Okay. Then the next item is our closed session. I'll make the motion. Move to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel for the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or against legal counsel of the district to determine its validity.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gilmore, seconded by Mr. Parisi. Roll call, please.
Mr. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Dr. Bidwell?
Yes.
Mr. Maselli?
Yes.
Mr. Homewood?
Yes.
Mr. Headley?
Yes.
Dr. Ferris?
Yes.
Okay, we are in closed session. We'll be meeting back there. We will return to open session. I just don't want to wait. I just don't want to wait. And then I know it's done. Well, and that one will work out. To recognize, because
Yeah. No, I just thought it's great.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you, Lisa. And then, thanks for setting everything up tomorrow.
Well, good luck.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Fingers crossed. Have a good night. Yes, thank you. Have a good night.